You all fought a tiny, slightly warm lizard. Neither of those descriptions are true. You guys fought an enormous, heated, boiling lava, fire, rock, slag-based salamander monstrosity inside the burning pagoda. You managed to take it down as it fell down the hole. Nora finished it off, and it fell and crushed limply to the bottom of the cavern that it had dug for itself. It eventually regenerated and moved along, sensing it was not in its best interest to stick around and continue going toe-to-toe with you. It fled somewhere. You saw it slither off beyond the cylinder that you could see immediately down into the kind of molten rock below, and you decided for a tactical retreat. The evening spent into the morning back at the cemetery, contemplating several things, having some discussions amongst yourselves, finding something that has piqued your interest, but nobody's willing to touch it because there's absolutely no possible way that touching whatever this is could make the entire cliffside that the cemetery sits on slide off the mountain and kill everybody. That's not something I would ever do. Or nothing like that.
Rocks fall, you die.
Yep, exactly. The GM that I learned from, his go-to was space cows. He said, "Don't make me space cow you," and that was his threat. And Quentin, you probably know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That was his threat. A meteoric space cow would slide in and just delete your character. No saving throw, no health check, no armor class, just deleted. So, beware of space cows. You had some interesting conversation. Margot saw some things here. Seamus put together some puzzle pieces about what was going on in this little space around you. And you have all taken your long rest. Everybody is at full health. Except for Leo and Nora. Okay. And you begin the day anew. Very wary. The burns that you received from the previous night's battle are still there on your skin. They sting. No. Sleeping in a graveyard does not remove second-degree burns automatically. But mechanically, for gameplay, everybody is at full health. And you have some new time in front of you. And let me pause the game.
Well, I think we need to find another way in.
We're still going after the creature.
Yes, but perhaps we can find a back entrance, a different tunnel, something. Have we investigated everywhere in this graveyard?
That's what I was going to ask.
The
Is there
back of the
anything that looks... I guess at this point, the flying skull. That's what's got Dro's attention. Did he clock that anywhere?
not occur. Well, actually, give me a perception check as you are looking around for it.
What?
Guidance. The skull that's been flying. Oh my god, that was almost a 1.
But it wasn't.
It was the flying skull that Dro saw during the fight at the top of the temple. And then when Dro and Margot were on watch, it flew back, clocked us, and then took off again. Like, ridiculously fast.
So with a
27.
27. Okay. Bro, have I told you that you clocked those 3 like fighting figures in the sky before?
No.
I don't think Margot mentioned it either.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So Dro, in the morning here, you look up at the sky, and the easiest way to spot that like kind of zigzaggy fast face thing that you saw was it's like white soft glow in the night sky against like all the ash and smoke and everything that was in the sky, and there's still plenty of that. The whole, it's morning, but there is a kind of a shitty haze across the entirety of the sky. Even though the fire isn't moving towards you, the smoke is dissipating any direction it can. And as you're looking up, there's a few like heavy patches, and like lots of the mountain is still burning. And you're not sure how far widespread it is at this point. You know that you seem to be in a safe space, but not entirely sure beyond that.
Can Margot look for those figures again?
Give me a minute to... Yeah, go ahead and roll perception as well. But Dro... Okay, so what I'm about to describe, you see far less of, but you still see a decent amount of it. Dro, at one point you're looking up and you see a portion of the smoke just whiff away, and it's probably like 100-foot wide sphere just opens up to like clear blue sky far above. And inside you see those 3 figures that I've described before. You see them with intense clarity. You see... Oh, crap. I forgot to update a token. You see what is very clearly something... These are elemental people of some sort. There is a dark-skinned male with fire coming off of his hair, red and orange, with a little blue ball of flame off of his left shoulder. The bottom half of him is a disturbingly black wisp of smoke. You also see a light tan and greenish skinned individual fighting off against him, teamed up with sorry, gotta double check a thing. I started playing around with Midjourney last night, and I generated a new token for one of these people, and then I forgot to actually make a final selection. And you see a light bluish white green entity fighting with the kind of brown-skinned one. Oh, the brown-skinned one has no legs, but a tail of what looks like dust and sand. The other one has... the other one, feminine, has very curly, wispy, kind of teal green hair with white streaks through it, and the bottom portion of her is just looks like wind blowing around. The two of them, this earthy kind of person, this air kind of person, fighting vigorously against the fire. And the 2 against 1 is on its back foot. They seem to be slowly losing, but they're continuing on. And with a 27, which is a damn near, natural 20 status, you see kind of back into, like, just back behind the fire person, wherever it moves, and the 3 of them are clashing like birds, in a conflict in the air, just like coming in, diving around, swiftly darting about and separating, blasting elemental forces at each other. And this is so far up in the sky that you can't hear them, except for a very occasional sonic boom sound. But it's only because you are well rested, sharp of mind, terrified by recent experience, interior and exterior. But your, like, survival mode, like, watch for danger, is on massively high alert. And you see a little white speck kind of sticking to the back of wherever this fire individual goes. Margot, you see pretty much the same things that you have been seeing. Like, you see the colors, you see the fighting, you don't grasp the elemental nature of the fighting, but you can tell that they are on the back foot. Like, what you've seen, what was even, or what was kind of a tilt in the favor of the 2 versus 1 has now tilted the other way, ever so slightly.
Seems they're losing.
Still looking up. I take it you see it too?
Yes. And I don't think that's good for us. We need to get a handle on things down here.
Does any of those creatures that I see clock would I know anything about them?
Roll a Arcana or History check.
Can I use guidance on this? Can't remember.
Yes, you can. Basically anything that's not a anything that's not like an instant thing. Like, if you have any sort of prep time for the skill, or a moment to think about it, you can use guidance. If it's so immediate or you're unaware of it, you cannot use it.
Okay. Oh, 30-20.
Okay, dirty 20.
On history.
And what'd you go for? History. History. Ooh, interesting. You know of elemental wars that happen you know of a balance of elements, and sometimes it comes to clashing and whatnot. And at the very basics, you know that there are opposing forces. Fire versus water is one dichotomy, and then earth versus wind is the other dichotomy. And there's little pieces in between, but those are the primary four elements. And they're usually at odds with their counterparts. And that is, you've seen stuff like, or you've read about stuff and studied things that are basically small potatoes compared to this.
Can I make out Dro? I don't even know if Quentin is making this out correctly, but the fire hair would be ideally fire. The blue skinned female would be the wind, and then the other one, I didn't get their description written down, but the other one being earth.
You do get that sense.
So it's really weird to see wind and earth, who are counterparts to each other, working together to fight fire, who is the counterpart to water. And water is nowhere to be seen.
Not at the moment.
Okay. I'm going to relay that to Margot. Just how I did there.
Can Seamus hear this? Are you guys talking out loud?
I'd be out loud.
Oh, yeah, we're out loud.
Yeah.
I think that's what I meant about the imbalance. Water's missing.
But you're saying that it's earth, wind, and fire?
Yeah. Didn't you and Troy, remind me if I'm wrong, but didn't you guys fight some water creatures yesterday?
Yeah, Leo and I, when the fire got started, we ran out front of the library there, and there were some of those fire creatures that we had met along the way here, with the fiery heads. But there were more of them. There were other fire creatures and water creatures and such. That's where that weird thing came about.
You kind of look over at the crystal that it's sitting in on Leo's belt. Okay, that explains where that came from. So,
Kind of.
we see, and he's going to try to point up to what he and Margot are talking about. We see fire. Obviously, we've dealt with the fire minions, whatever you want to call them. But there's wind and earth up there fighting, but I don't see anything but beyond those two elements up there. Nor do I see water.
Which is the problem. This is water's domain. Where is he? Her. It.
He's going to look over at... see what before. It was everyone when we heard this. Or whispers of it. They mentioned back at the library. The College of Water, was it? Leo, wasn't that the symbol that you saw back in Rippletop on some of those mages, I guess, if that's what they were?
I mean, we don't... Excuse me. I mean, we don't have definitive answer about what those are, but it all seems to be pointing in that direction.
I don't know if it's just me, but we've been through Rippletop, the library, the river that runs through it all, the people with water around them, on top of the hidden cemetery behind the waterfall. The theme here seems water, but I'm not seeing water. I'm not seeing people. So my concern is we find this portal that Margot's talking about, where this fire ideally originated from. That's one problem solved. But then that leaves however many have already spilled out. And if there's not water to handle this, plus if those two, and again, point up there, which I would imagine most people don't see besides myself and Margot, are struggling to fight one elemental, what's our chance? We can stop the cause, but then we have to deal with what's already made it out, let alone we dealt with one intense beast and it almost killed a few of us.
Would you suggest we run? I think if we tackle one problem at a time, perhaps we will find water below trying to close the rift. I know not, but one problem at a time.
What's what you got to do with a big meal? Just one bite at a time.
And perhaps once being stopped flowing out, the people fighting below can get a hold on it all.
I mean, they seemed like they were well trained in water magic. I mean, they were able to, for the most part, hold the fire at bay and kind of glance off towards the fire that's continuously going. To the most part of it, I guess. The concern here, and call it selfish, we barely handled one, let alone an elemental. We closed the portal. My concern is what happens to us. And he's glancing at Yaslin as he says us. What happens if what happened previously, or Leo, and every time I say someone's name, looking at him, Leo, Nora, already knocked unconscious. Honestly, lost Yaslin there for a bit. Margot, you didn't look like you were doing too well either.
Are those people showing up on the map while we're dogging right now?
Oh
No,
gosh,
this is me. You guys can't see those, right?
Mm-mm. We can hear them.
Can't
No.
see them.
I can see them. Yes, I can see them.
Okay, that's fine. Because I'm bringing these out so I can share the art.
Oh, I wasn't scrolled out far enough to see them.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, that's what you're talking about. Okay.
They're a little terrifying.
A little bit. So only Dro sees them with this much clarity.
Oh boy.
But fire, earth, and wind.
Thought.
Yeah, pretty dope.
So during this conversation, casually glancing up every once in a while.
Because like
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
main
so Dro, you were noticing, like, and gauging the distance and everything. You are basically witnessing nothing short of, like, natural disasters being thrown at both sides. They're not enormous in scale, but they are quite powerful.
Are they... The salamander we fought was a huge creature. Or, I don't remember exactly. Did they trump that size from what I can make out? Or are they about that size?
They seem smaller.
Okay. The size doesn't really matter at some point.
Incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Size doesn't matter, Quentin.
I too am concerned about control with the number of people in this group, but I don't see we have much choice. Perhaps if we are tactical about it, and if Yaslin, could you sense it coming on?
Dro's staring at her when that question's asked.
And she's back.
That was very quick.
There she is!
That
There
was
she
so
is!
quick.
I don't know if you heard. I don't know where we lost you.
Dro said something.
He said a lot.
Yeah, he said a lot. It was like 2 minutes ago, maybe a minute and a half.
Spark notes. Dro's questioning if it's worth fighting. Margot then said we might be able to do it tactically, and then looked at you and asked, I don't remember.
If you felt the lack of control coming on, like if you felt it in advance and perhaps could prepare better this time, pull out if you know it's coming.
I will definitely be more careful.
Insight check.
Yeah, insight check that. 100%.
I mean, you can most certainly insight check that.
I will be blunt about guidance too.
Oh, 24.
13, so.
Yeah, she looks like super cautious. I think Margot could definitely see that, like, she's a woman who's usually very confident in her capabilities, and like she seems a bit unsure about going into combat again. More out of fear of losing control than anything, which is why, yeah, she's telling the truth. She will be extremely cautious.
Well, what if when we go in, perhaps Leo and Dro should lead the way, and Seamus and I behind, and Margot. I'm Margot.
Yes.
I speak in the third person now.
Yaslin, you can hang back with Nora and come up only when necessary. That way, if there's fire, we can keep you away from it for as long as possible.
I don't think fire will be a problem for a while. But yes, I think that I will more than willingly take caution.
And I think we need to find another way in. Dro, you mentioned something curious about the graveyard last night.
Not taking his eyes off that whole speech and staring at Yaslin still. Taking his staff and pointing over to the air where the ground seemed a little off. When he looks away, Morgan, you said there were names on these graves. Can Dro read any of them?
What languages you got?
Good question. Dwarvish, Elvish, Undercommon.
No Elvish, but you do, and no Undercommon.
Odd.
The main grave, however, is Dwarvish. And it's not a name. It's a poem, of which I did not prepare a poem. So I'm going to describe it, not recite it. It talks about a hero of water. One who moves with the tides, becomes what they must, becomes rigid and frozen when the time is appropriate. And who showed the right faith and venerated the mountain as a champion until the end of his days, which were long. And unlike many heroes in Aeon, and you can tell that. Ooh, actually, give me a.
Also, side note, I'm reciting what he's saying out loud to everybody.
Okay. Give me a insight check.
When it's
Never
really
mind.
important.
You get the sense that unlike most, heroes or champions or whatever in Aeon, it, might have been here kind of towards the beginning, and it speaks of like dying at peace, and you kind of get the sense that the kind of like unspoken poetic hero here died of old age. Very old age. Received benefits of healing and longevity from the mountain.
He's just going to examine the grave, the dog statues that are there, the spot that he clocked. He didn't see as much as Seamus did of that spot. Just look it up and down very cautiously.
Margot's gonna study that spot as well.
Okay. Are you doing anything active or just staring at it because it's still just covered in leaves?
Well, she'll brush the leaves off. She wants to try and see if there's any. Okay.
Can I use, I don't know if this is going to work, thaumaturgy to clear the leaves?
Yeah, you can. I'm pretty sure like a, brief gust of wind is within thaumaturgy. Yeah, because thaumaturgy can close doors and whatnot. Yeah, you can absolutely can.
So when Margot goes to reach down, let's not touch stuff we don't know. And he'll barely tap his staff on the ground. And it will blow away the leaves covering that area. So
Margot wants to try to see if there's any magical aspects of this thing.
Okay, you just going for like an Arcana check?
Yeah,
or
just an Arcana check.
Magic?
I don't think I have detect magic. Just an Arcana check.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
Guidance?
So, as you blow away the leaves, you see there's all these stones that are like littered around, which is like the walking paths and whatnot here, towards the ring of graves that you guys are in. It's less paved stone and whatnot, and it's less paved stone, and it gives more weight to more like natural stone, wild grass. It's a little bit unkempt on purpose, but leading up to this main grave here, and all these like large fall leaves or fall trees and whatnot. There's this one that's hanging behind the gate that's just like listed and hung on the side of the mountain, and so they're kind of a little bit naturally looking like walking path stones. You blow away all these autumn leaves, and there is a very clearly crafted, elongated stone, about 8 inches tall by about 3 feet wide or so. And in it you see a carved like raised thing, like the opposite of a relief. It's like a raised version of a sword with a lion's face as the pommel.
Does that particular thing spark any clicks? I guess. Like
With the
this would just
and
for Dro trying to recall. Does this make sense history wise?
roll a history check at disadvantage. You haven't really studied this area, and you're not an item aficionado.
Nope.
So, okay, so no, not on this one.
and with a dirty 20 Arcana check.
Arcana check. You see this, and you do get a sense of magic from it. Like, there's too much attention on this thing. Now that you guys have spent some time here playing into it, it is more than... This can't be a coincidence, and you do feel just like a little bit of a hum of power from it. This is, an Arcana check is not the detect magic spell, so you can't tell like what school of magic this is, but you do feel power associated with the stone somehow.
Oh, shit.
Seamus casts darkness, and all investigation
It's
comes to
actually
a
magic.
screeching stop. Oh, Seamus goes for detect magic.
I was like, darkness.
I was like, darkness, wait a second.
Template. I don't know why it sets a template.
Seamus, you get two senses here. One is transmutation, and the other is evocation. And you do... and then roll me an Arcana check as well.
Guidance. If Mario will let me do it.
Unless Seamus is like communicating his intent here, Dro
Sure.
doesn't know about it.
Yeah, I think I would just do it.
Okay. So 19. There's... Give me also an investigation check, please. At advantage. Okay. There's something else in your detect magic that you can't quite grasp and understand. It's like there's something else that's tickling, but it's bland. It's like, it's like the magical equivalent of a plain oatmeal with no flavoring or anything on purpose. Something is obscured, and that matches with what you got, like the kind of indirect messaging from the thieves' cant on several of the gravestones pointing your way. If it was just this, like all of your trouble.
There's at least 3 kinds of magics I would say at work here. There's some kind of transmutation, an evocation, and something subtle and hidden. Almost made to seem background.
So I have 2 ideas. I could dispel the magic, or we could try to feed those types of magic to it.
Glancing at that grave again. I don't know if it's a good idea to dispel it, as this is placed here in front of this grave, and points at the one with the poem that talks of this hero. And kind of looking around the graves too. I feel dispelling it might be dishonorable here.
I agree. We must not disrespect the dead. And you see her veins start to glow a light lavender again, and she's going to press the digitation, just chill the stone, get some transmutation magic onto the stone, see if anything happens.
Yeah, just a second.
While she's doing it, she's like speaking in Kori, calling to her spirit to guide her.
Seamus would notice your veins.
Ominous.
You reach out and you kind of chill it. You see just like the hint of like a little bit of frost, kind of like creeping on the edges. Not much, but it doesn't seem to have any effect.
Evocation was the other one. So your transmutation cantrip barely did anything.
Didn't do anything, no. Perhaps we need a stronger spell.
Seamus, one other thing that you notice with your detect magic, whatever this stone is, the evocation portion of it is projecting out. And you also rolled a pretty good Arcana check, so it's pushing out towards the pagoda. A sense of coolness, magically speaking, not physically, is surrounding the space.
It's definitely like pointed in a direction, like it's more focused towards that direction.
It's you kind of sense it around. It's more spherical in nature, but it seems to have a decent distance.
It's almost as if the magic is emanating from it, like an aura around the place, which kind of explains why we're not on fire right now.
Like it's protecting this area from the fire?
Something of that nature.
So yeah, we definitely don't want to dispel it then.
No, I was just hoping that perhaps we could find a way in, a hidden tunnel, something.
And this is in line with that gravestone with the poem.
Yeah, so the large gravestone has the poem, and there's the two dogs, and then like this long like etched stone with the sword is sitting directly between the two dogs, and the dogs are staring right down at it.
What if it's a sword, right?
What if it's his grave? And point towards the poem.
I think it is. She's gonna try one more thing. She's gonna put her hand on the sword
That's
and cast a booming blade through it. Evocation through the sword.
I was gonna just be like,
I was gonna just put my hand on it. What did I just
Pick
roll?
it up?
You reach down and touch it. Roll me a. Roll me a charisma saving throw.
Oh. Don't.
She's a charisma
The
caster.
trauma. I know, right? I'm like, the trauma of me rolling charisma saves is real.
17.
That's. Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous of your body. So jealous.
Because of who you specifically are, Margot, your family's ability, but also the way that you were raised, you feel a significant presence in this space. Feels like a dormant watcher. And nothing like negative happens. You just become aware of a presence.
She'll look to Joe and say, try and pull me out if anything happens.
Wait,
And she's
what?
going to try and mind link with that presence.
Ooh.
Can her telling Dro that, and Dro being Dro, can he just reach out and guidance her, not knowing what she's gonna do, but provide some sort of support to her?
Roll me a dex save.
Who? Me
To
or
see if you
him?
could, Dro, to see if you can, wait, what? Can react and cross that 5-foot distance fast enough.
Oh no.
16.
Oh, that's the 16.
Oh wow.
Oh,
yeah.
Monk!
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, wait, say what? You go over and just slap her and give her guidance. Yeah, so sure, go ahead. So what are you attempting to do? You're mind linking?
Yes.
Give me a persuasion check.
Hand is still on her shoulder the whole time.
As you are essentially trying to coax this whatever into coming out of its dormant state to some degree.
Oh, I forgot the +4. It doesn't matter. Holy shit.
Oh, gosh.
It is, and if you have inspiration, you could use it.
Oh, yeah. Persuasion.
I just feel like this might be like a big moment, so I wanted to remind you.
That's a lot
that's
better.
So good.
Okay.
I'm gonna call to it. Your mountain's under threat. We're trying to save it, but we need your help. Come to me.
I was just gonna step back if you said that out loud.
It would have been telepathic. Because it's a mind link.
Sounds good. Sounds good, yeah, that
We're
makes
all
sense.
gonna stay right here and get blasted.
If it's not hostile, the mind link lasts for an hour. I don't know what that'll do for us.
If it's not-
Okay.
You're basically waking the dead.
Okay. Margot. You are very familiar with warrior types. They often start off hot and arrogant. And if they survive long enough, they learn humility. You've seen it time and time again. You've seen both arrogant and humble warriors die out. This presence it's like you have this sensation of essentially like trying to open a door, and then as soon as you do, the door vanishes, and you are like standing in the middle of a lake. All around you, you can't even see like you can see like bits of these like orange and yellow fall trees like on the edge of the lake, all around. But they're very peripheral. They're very far at the end of the periphery, and there's mist all around you. And this is the I've apparently decided this is part of your character, that you interpret other people as metaphors. So you are in this space that is this person. Even becoming wise as a warrior is not uncommon, but becoming a sage and a warrior, that is something quite rare. You immediately know that you have stepped into something like that.
She's gonna cross her hand over her chest and salute, kind of like take a knee in respect to the sage.
Mm-hmm.
There is fire consuming the mountains. We are desperate to fight it, and we found respite in your sanctuary, but we may need more strength. It is all-consuming.
Okay. And just a second, so like wasn't sure where you guys were gonna go today. So I'm just deciding on a couple of details here.
Always gotta try to find where the DM didn't plan.
Oh yeah, for sure. These people are masters at it. Okay, it's too good. Now the levels are out. So just a moment.
Remind me what you told Dro before you dove in.
Order me out if things go bad, but how are we supposed to know if things go bad?
Yep, that's what I thought.
I don't know if she starts like bleeding from her
She like starts
eyeballs or
convulsing
something.
Yeah.
Some of the notes.
She starts attacking you guys.
Dro's intensely staring at her.
Okay. From out of the mist, you see you hear something like a drop in a very quiet space. You hear the drop and dribble of like a pond, like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you look up, you see a dark, furry figure walking towards you, about kind of chest height if you were standing. Seems to be on all fours. And just walking, and every time it takes a step, that dripping sound comes out. And after a moment, you see what is a dark blue and white lion. And those are the colors in its mane. And it prowls towards you calmly.
She's gonna stay in the kneeling position and bow her head lower in respect.
Okay. And adapting to some things here on the fly. It'll take me longer to do this in a token, so I'm just going to post it in the channel. and it moves up towards you, and it bows its head as well.
Sorry.
You go ahead.
Okay. I came to your lands to restore balance. But whatever water nature lives here is missing. Lost.
And it just kind of sits down on its haunches and see its tail just kind of swishing back and forth. Almost playfully. There's something kind of comforting about it. Every time it touches the surface of the water, that dripping sound comes back. It just looks at you, continuing. No response yet, but it just has its gaze on you.
I came with the knowledge of the balance that existed. But the Jinn of this land, I have not been able to locate it. From what I've seen, earth and wind fight the fire, but they are losing this fight. And water is gone. We cannot stop the tide of fire. Not without help.
And it tilts its head at you.
Water is never gone. It cannot be gone. It is this place. The place still exists. Therefore, water still exists. Missing, unseen, perhaps, but not gone.
Do you know where to find it? Or how to stop the tide of fire?
I'm rested. I persist as a fragment of my former self. But I am disconnected from current events. If what you say is true, then the balance is indeed jeopardized. We all have our roles to play in the balance. I served mine as long as I could. But this still remains water's bastion on the planet. If water is absence, there is a reason. There is a reason why wind and earth fight fire. Find it.
Would the answers I seek be in the pagoda?
Perhaps. Perhaps not.
Could you guide me in another way? Do you know of this place, this land as it... I know you know not of it as it is now, but do you know a way in to the heart of this land, the heart of the pagoda?
The pagoda is not a heart. It is a temple, yes. But it is simply a symbol of the heart. If there is some place you need to go, and it kind of looks at you, and its eyes kind of shine a little extra bright blue for a moment. The where is a trivial detail, unless it is paired with the desire to go. I sense hesitation. It clings to you. Yours or not yours.
Yes, there are some in my group who have grown to fear. I believe fairly recently, but I don't know them well. There's fear of the fire, and I think there is more to them than each of them realize, and perhaps they fear themselves for that.
Wise to fear, both within and without. Unwise to be controlled by it.
Yes. But perhaps they must face it to overcome it.
Likely.
And at some point, you look up and you realize you're not speaking to an animal anymore. And you're not sure when the change happened. And it's not as, but you see that individual, still that blue lion motif, but is now a warrior clad in armor, sitting very calmly cross-legged on the surface of the water, tail still swishing back and forth and creating dripping sounds. Have survived the challenges of the fire thus far. They are brazen, bold, unyielding. Yet flawed. It can only bring life after the first stage of its behavior is met. It is a necessary part of the balance.
As a
But it's-
forest fire.
Precisely. Heat is life to many degrees. But when active, it is a one-dimensional beast. It has likely shown you what you already need to know. Its behaviors can be traced.
Yes. I think we know where to go. I just hope I can convince the others they're capable of going.
Roll me a persuasion check with advantage.
Would guidance still be going?
Nah, she already used it to go in the first place.
Oh yeah. Thank God.
17?
17.
Oh wait, 21. That's the higher one, 21. No, that was the one before.
yeah,
17
yeah.
was the
Mhm.
one with advantage. Okay, yeah.
Yep, you're good. He kind of looks at you. You are on the path to learning your own balance. It will never be easy, but it will be substantive.
It is all I've ever strived for. That's balance. And I hope I can restore it to your lens.
It is a worthwhile endeavor. I haven't had a conversation in quite some time. Thank you for the change of pace.
And what do I call you?
He bows his head deeply.
I am Zat Wakir Mel. And what do I call you?
She bows her head deeply as well. Margot Sforad of the Visislav tribe.
It has been a genuine pleasure. Margot Svarad of the Visisat tribe. I will be here if you ever need to speak again.
Thank you. I will return.
I know. Although I expect it will not be for quite some time. Be seeing you.
She's
And
gonna. Okay.
go ahead.
I was gonna say she's gonna bow really low and then try to sever the mind link if he lets her.
Totally does. And like as you start to sever it, you look back up and you see just the shadow of the lion form moving back through the mists in the opposite direction.
Oh yeah, that's not how I spelled that name at all.
Oh, of course not. You guys never get my spellings right on the first time.
I actually had it. I didn't have the apostrophe in the middle, but I did.
Oh yeah. Nice.
I don't know how that happened.
Okay. Alright, and the feeling comes back and you are sucked back to your regular space. And everybody is just staring hard at Margot.
We've already seen the way in. We already know what to do. That's that pattern. We know they're coming from the pagoda. That's where we need to go. We need to go deeper, though. We need to find the source.
The one that collapsed.
Yes.
What were you saying, Joe? Oh, the tunnel that.
Yeah,
The,
that
you say
collapsed.
the pagoda that collapsed?
Yeah. I was saying that to Margot. And he would also look at her and be like, also, remember the conversation last night, unnecessary risk?
Yes.
Yeah, if we're going to trust each other, like we've talked about, a little more of a warning before you just dive into a dead man's brain.
Margot,
Yes.
there's something in your hand.
What am I holding?
And Margot, you look down and you've got a piece of like paper clutched in your hand, like a flat, like a rolled up, almost like cylinder. That's the word.
She's going to open it and read it.
As Joe just says, unnecessary risk.
Seamus, you're getting oatmeal from this piece of paper with your detect magic.
Oh,
Did you say oatmeal?
right. This is some secret lingo code that we don't know.
Oatmeal.
It's a spell scroll. You can, just for fun, roll me an Arcana check. You are not sure what spell scroll this is, but you recognize magical symbols and diagrams and language. Just not one that you're particularly familiar with.
Sorry, Dro, I got distracted. Seamus, can you read this?
I can take a look at that maybe. Where did it come from?
I have... would not say no idea. I believe it came from the spirit who occupies these grounds. And this is a holy place. I should have told you before, but I did not feel there was a risk in this.
Holy place, I get. The mind meld link thing you do to people, kind of weird you did it to, and he'll glance over at the poem, start to say dead hero.
Yes, he is dead, and fragments of his spirit remain.
So you talk to him.
Yes, I did. My people have experience with spirits, in the manner of speaking.
You talk to the dead?
Not typically, but as there was still a fragment here, I could latch onto that, I think. It is difficult to explain.
Did he provide any information? First off, is he the one in this poem?
I cannot read that poem.
He'll just spark note explain what it says to her.
Yeah, Dro read it out loud earlier.
Oh, okay.
So you know it.
I think so, yes. His name is Zatvakir Mel. He is was a great warrior, but he passed on in peace. Unfortunately, he is not able to provide any present context other than the fact that we may already have the information we require.
Sweet. At this point, Stella has his hand on your shoulder, takes it off, steps back. So we have the information we require. We know that the fire is attacking and winning. We know they're coming from the collapsed building now, thanks to Leo's friend.
We also know that some of us currently lack confidence, and that could be deadly on the battlefield.
Is it? He'll just kind of stop for a second. And he put a piece of paper in your hand.
I believe so. I need to know what it says. Seamus, were you able to read it?
Can I Arcana check that, or? Yeah, there. Yeah.
Seamus, no.
Guidance ain't gonna help.
Guys.
I've never seen this language.
She's gonna roll it up and just put it back, put
Is
it
there
in
a
her
language on there?
belt.
Did a
There is.
language?
Does any of
You
us
wanna-
recognize it?
None of us recognize. It's not common, celestial, elvish, or Kori.
Dro, you can read it.
Is it Jorvin?
No.
Undercommon.
Oh God. Is
No,
it undercut?
it's not.
What?
But And it's not so much that it's a language that you can't read,
But the thieves can.
but it's more like reading a formula
Can
available for, and it makes sense. It makes sense to you. The kind of unknown spiritual magic that you have. It's a cleric spell.
that's what I was- Margot, can I actually see that?
Yes, of course.
He's gonna read it, and just kind of study it. Do I know exactly what it says? Like what it can do?
Yeah, you do. It's a stone-shaped scroll.
Huh.
I was getting more oatmeal from it.
Just looking really puzzled. I don't know how, but I can piece this together.
Perhaps it is meant for you then.
Kind of just still holding it, looking at the group, a little just confused. I've seen people do this before, where they're able to, and kind of looks at the stones around, altar stones. I've never personally done it myself. I'm still a little fuzzy on how I even know what this is. I'm really more concerned that the two big magic users, looking at Margot and Seamus, were puzzled by this. And he kind of rolls it up and just holds it. And look over at Margot. I'm going to hold on to this.
I think you should.
He'll just put it in his bag.
Roll me an Arcana check.
Twelve.
Ben? Well, that's high enough. It wasn't a terribly high DC. And through your studies and stuff, you've never had a spell scroll in your hands before, but you know the theory behind them. This thing is above your pay grade, magically speaking. But it doesn't mean it's impossible.
You said
Mechanically speaking, you know, metagaming.
it's fourth level.
You have to make basically a spell attack roll at 10 plus the spell's level and succeed in that in order to use a spell above your spellcasting level from a scroll. And so you could try to use it. If you fail, it disintegrates.
No pressure.
Stone.
And and you can get a sense of like, oh, actually, with a 12, you know it's above your pay grade. You're not sure how far above your pay grade. So you don't know the DC.
You said stone shape, right?
Yep.
Okay.
No looking up the spell.
Just trying to remember what it does, and I don't remember.
Oh, you know that. Oh.
I know you can mess with stone, but
Mhm.
the specifics.
So it sounds like we're going back in, or I guess in for the first time.
I think we need to go not in, but below. That said, that the pagoda wasn't a heart, it's a representation of the belief that there is a heart, so, and that creature crawled out of that tunnel, perhaps the heart is beneath us right now, beneath the pagoda.
So we're climbing into that hole.
Yeah.
I got it covered.
Are we sure that's the best idea?
It's the only idea I have.
So
Right.
we're talking of going into the hole where the giant fire creature, which keep in mind was very hot there, and just spitballing 100 or so feet down. I don't know. Look over at Nora. Nora had a better look at the hole. And
Yeah, it wasn't pretty. It looked bad at the bottom. Bunch of rocks. Lots of fire.
probably a lot of fire. And the creature crawled away. So it sounds like there's one way. We're following this creature in a very confined spot.
Yes. Unless you guys know of a different location that could be the heart.
I mean, we know, well, Morgan, we know what direction it went through, right? When it went in the hole and tunneled off, we knew what direction.
Yeah. From the pagoda, from when Nora's explaining this. Orientation. So, the pagoda essentially faces due south. And it tunneled away like a kind of a northeastern direction or so.
Okay.
But that was, I could only see, Nora could only see, in her visual range this much. So that's the best guess.
And we went north to get to this graveyard we're at now?
Yes. So, yeah, the graveyard is north of the pagoda.
So,
Sorry, no, it's not.
It's south.
Sorry, map orientation details are messing with me. The graveyard is essentially, it's mostly pointing east, and then almost pointing due west is where the face of the pagoda is. Just the battle map is north and south.
okay.
So the creature dug west, not south or north.
It, by Nora's best recollection, it went eastish.
East. So towards underneath this cemetery.
Maybe?
Ish, yeah. Not, I wouldn't say, it wouldn't be directly, right? Because you said northeast, east-ish?
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. It's probably leading us where we need to go. But is there a way we could maybe track it from up where we have more room? Because being grouped up there didn't seem the greatest. That creature had everything to counter us.
Yes. Do you perhaps know of a location, perhaps a holy site to the east at the base of this mountain? Place of learning, even. If you've seen somewhere like that to the east, perhaps there's another way in.
Morgan, what direction's the library?
So the pagoda is facing slightly south of west, kind of going on a mostly direct west route along that ridgeline that's on fire. It's almost directly west of the pagoda.
Okay, so it's opposite of where
A slight upturn.
it's opposite where that creature went.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I hate to break it to you, but I'm not the book smart one, nor am I the religious one. Honestly, this area is fairly new to me. Kind of looking at the rest of the group. Anybody clock anything while we were walking?
Are you talking the opposite direction of the library?
Yes, this direction, but maybe down the mountain a ways. Perhaps there's another graveyard or a small temple that may act as an entry point to what's below.
No. Can't say I did.
We saw nothing on our way up this mountain, DM.
Nothing. One of you noticed a something.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if it's relevant, but
But that was polar opposite direction, right?
Fiery Ridge being that kind of like west-east line between the pagoda and the library. You guys kind of took a scooping route around to circumnavigate, and what you saw, Dro, was almost at the very bottom of that lower arc. So, well, south.
He's gonna keep that to himself right now.
Alright.
The only way I know in then is through that tunnel, and I agree that is not on the best of grounds. I would much rather find an alternative entrance. But I fear we are running out of time.
That building. Nora, Leo, didn't you guys lose that launcher and that building collapse?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. It's, we might be able to dig it out, but if it looks like the building is still burning, so it may be gone.
Is it even worth going back to that building and looking for clues? I imagine the hole's still there.
Well, the building kind of came down on top of it.
So the hole is
maybe it's-
blocked.
Maybe. I don't know. We kind of
Yes.
scurried out of there pretty quickly afterwards.
Nothing could have returned and reopened the hole.
Well, Fuzz exploded, brought the building down, and then the lizard fell through, so it should be open.
If we need, I can climb down the hole rather easily.
I'm gonna stare at
Yes.
Yaslin.
And right back
Let's
up.
definitely send in the Angry Fire Girl by herself,
No.
much faster than we can pursue,
No.
and she'll totally be okay.
No.
I will, like 99% probably okay.
No.
I can get us to the bottom. I don't know how we'll get back out. And I don't even know if we'll make it back out. But I could get us down to the bottom.
Staring at Yaslin. You can fly.
Testing, can I fly?
Yes, you still can, because it was a 24-hour buff, and you guys have had your long rest. But actually, you've had 2 long rests at this point. So yeah, you've got about 6 hours of flight left.
Yes, I can still fly.
I'm telling you, just trust fall.
That's worse than me going down there alone, I think.
I trust you, Seamus.
If we're gonna work together, you're gonna have some trust.
Could we send a couple of us down, check out where the hole went, see what we can see, come back up instead of putting us all down there in a confined area, come back up, obviously getting out of the fire, and come up with a game plan then?
Is there something that the people above can do while the people below are doing something?
Keep an eye and not
As
die.
long as we're not fighting fire creatures while you're down there.
Oh, that's a good point. We left and they were flooding that area.
Mm-hmm. And as long as you guys don't get attacked while you're down there and we don't know any better.
Well,
Well,
we could.
who would do better in a confined space?
I mean, are you going to? And he's going to stare at you and completely block everyone out. Are you even good to go into that fire again?
I don't know.
You're the only one that can get us out. Look over at Margot and Seamus. Unless one of you has the abilities to get us out of a 100-foot hole that doesn't
I do
involve
not.
climbing.
My elevator just goes down.
Wait a minute.
Well,
Continue.
I will need to think. Which, honestly, I haven't done a lot of in the past.
Yeah, you're more of the punch first, think later.
Listen, all you have to do is point me in a direction, and I would have punched something.
And under his breath, he's going to say, or someone.
And
And
now
then-
I have to figure out some sort of like emergency pullback system.
Do you remember what happened during that fight?
I am missing like a good 30 seconds of my memory.
Morgan, would Yaslin remember Darkdrow?
She. No.
Okay,
She was gone by the time he showed up.
good. Okay. Well, I'm looking over at Margot and Seamus.
Perhaps I could help you with something. I would need your trust and a bit of information, if you will. All you need to say is yes. Aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, undead. Yes or no?
He's gonna walk up next. Joe's gonna walk up next to Yaslin and put his hand on her shoulder.
It's not one of those.
I suppose that won't work then.
It's something I have to keep in check.
I was hoping to help you with that. But when I entered your mind during the fight, I was assaulted violently. And I know I cannot help you, though I wish I could. Right during the fight, at least.
And I'm sorry for that. I think perhaps it would be safer for you to stay out of my mind.
I think that would be smart for the most part. And she's going to look around at everyone in this group.
Do we clock that she like looks at all of us with that general statement?
Not Nora.
She's just gonna get a shrug from Jero.
Well, I mean, Yaslin's not really surprised with the whole Dro thing. He talks to himself, so.
You're the only one that doesn't know.
I know quite a bit, actually.
No, Yaslin.
Oh,
Yaslin doesn't
Everyone
know
else.
anything about Drug Dro. She was
out of it.
frenzied at that point, which,
Mm-hmm.
well, so what are we going to do?
I hate to admit it, but that hole might be our only clue.
And I hate to admit it, Yaslin, but I think if you fear to keep fighting, that will only make it worse. I think you must face whatever this is and trust your friends to help you. Let them know once you start feeling that loss of control and let them help you pull yourself out of it.
Dro elbows you.
You're never going to get through this without facing it.
And Dro's gonna look over
I think
at you, Yaslin.
my greatest fear in that letting you all help me is that eventually something will break and you will all end up hurt or worse, dead because of it.
But running away from that will not change that outcome.
It's not an outcome that I can run away from, even if I wanted to.
And face it.
I wish it were that easy. Like all of my other problems.
But all your other problems you face by yourself. Not every solution is punch first, think later.
There must be balance.
Alright. I will trust you. All of you.
Insight check. And she says all of us.
Go for it.
I believe her with Dro, but 22.
Yaslin, go ahead and send Q a message with what he would glean from that one. Keep that one private.
Okay. Where's your... I have so many people in my messages. You're gonna... Okay, I'm sure. I message, like, at least 15 people a day.
Yeehaw.
The glories of being a DM on a server, it means you're constantly messaging people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
After she says that, Dro's gonna look towards Margot. I don't know why I forgot your name for a second. And Seamus.
Yeah, I forgot my own name earlier, so.
And then kind of look at Nora and Leo every once in a while. It might not be a bad idea. Takes a suggestion. Be more tactical. Take Seamus's idea of trust. Instead of all of us heading in head first. I know some of us have the idea of punch or shoot first, think later. That's going to get us killed. And kind of looking at the group. I know some of us are important to others here, or some of us have people that are important to them that aren't here. So maybe working together might not be a bad idea. And Seamus, if you say you have a way for us to get down, we have a way for us to get up, and at least get intel on where this leads. And maybe that could help Margot find this craft, if it even is a craft that's caused this.
I just have a way down. We'll have to improvise a way back. And if we need to, I mean, I can drop in later and send you on ahead.
I think we should stick together.
I tend to think that also here.
Yeah, then Leo speaking. Yeah, I'll double up on that. That thing almost flattened me to death. I don't think any of us should be going near it unless we're full strength.
Agreed.
Well, at least, I don't know, maybe full strength is a wish, but certainly not divided.
What's the tactic? Let's say we're dropping into the hole, and it's 5 feet past where we can see on the way down. Who do we want in the breach first? Who comes at the end?
Well, Yaslin can get us out.
I think she should be at the end.
If it's dark, that's not a problem for me.
I can see in the dark.
As can I. Quite ways out.
I can adjust that problem for an hour.
The
For myself.
concern is if we're worried about the creature, I mean, it gave off some light.
Yes, it did.
So we would probably see it before actually seeing it.
Right. And he kind of grins for a second. If it's dark, that's an advantage for myself. I don't think Yaslin needs to go all the way down. She just needs to be... Fuck, I should look this up.
The other thing to know is I don't really need to fly. I can just sort of crawl down the walls.
I mean, flying would be beneficial if we need to get out in a hurry. As long as you're within about 60 feet of me, I can get to you very quickly.
Okay.
As long as I'm in the dark.
Well, I think Seamus provided a very useful cover last night. Would that darkness do? Or is that too much?
I cannot see through that.
I can.
Which, I mean, if you guys can see through it, you can just climb on me, I guess, and I can lift you out, but...
We also have ways of staying in contact with those at the top. Seamus, he puts his hand up to his ear. Ability. I can also communicate that way and look at Margot. Your very personal way.
Choose somebody and we can link for an hour and you can talk at any time to me and I can talk at any time to you.
So you link with one of us going down. We go down, we get information, we come back up. No splitting the group. No exploring forward. I'm looking over at Yaslin. No going off on your own.
Okay.
We keep in contact the whole way down. Seamus, you said you have a way down. Is it far enough down, 100 feet down?
Muted.
I think he's trying to
Yeah, I was
remember
just
what it is.
making sounds, actually, as I was trying to find how long this lasts. It lasts for a minute.
Yeah, that distance is not a problem for what you're thinking.
And plus, if Drow goes down, he can negate 30 damage anyways, so.
Not planning on
30 or-
hurting you on the way down.
30 or 35, Drew?
I can reduce fall damage up to 30.
You're level 7 now.
I was at 25
you're
last time.
Okay, gotcha. Isn't it 5 times your monk level?
So who's all going down in this hole?
Everyone.
Everyone. Okay, good to know that I might have to haul 2 people out. Oh,
Yeah, wait. If it's everybody, then we're back in the predicament of all of us in one small spot.
Right.
And
But I
only,
just said don't split the party.
I think it would
I'm
be
talking
more...
like going through the tunnel when we get down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, going through the tunnel, it needs to be all of us. Going down there to check, I think it doesn't need to be all of us. Potentially just 2
It
people.
needs to be all of us.
It needs to be all of us? Well, why?
For your spell.
I guess we...
I can get
for-
6 of us down the hole at one time together.
The concern is if we have to rush out, only so many of us can get up quickly.
Again, I could just go down real quick and back up.
Unless you get down there and the monster is down there and it grabs you and then we're however far away.
And then, well, I would be able to handle myself for at least a minute.
Unless Morgren let me abuse this new ability.
And
Which
in 2
one?
minutes will we just be saying goodbye then?
Shoot it to me.
That's...
Okay.
I think we go together. I don't know how we're getting
I
out.
think we face a problem either way. Either we bottleneck the tunnel, or we risk fighting 2 fights on different fronts.
Well, we might not even fight 2 fights if there are monsters at the top. Then we just
This
have
is
to deal
true.
with those first.
Also, if this creature comes back, I'm pretty sure the light it gives off is going to be a warning. The minute we
Yeah.
see that light, we can shoot back up,
Well,
depending on where we are.
depending how many of us are down there, we can shoot back up.
I think the point is not to run away when we see it though. It's to take it down and to shut this thing.
Do we want to fight it in close quarters? I know some of us can fight in close quarters. I think a good number of us can't, though.
We also don't want
Yes.
to be near each
Not
other.
effectively.
It shoots that slag. If we're all grouped up, plus Mr.
And that
Steamrolled
wall
over
of
here.
fire as well.
If he steamrolls us in the tunnel, we are all fucked.
Yeah, there's no avoiding that. I could also just see how far he tunneled. 'Cause he came from somewhere, he retreated somewhere. My guess is based off of what we've gathered and what Rose said from the dead man. That might be where the heart is. He came up here. He said that temple is metaphor of the heart or whatever. So there's a reason he chose here.
You keep insinuating you can move fast in the dark. How fast are we talking?
Is there anywhere darkish, dim around us?
You're currently in bright light.
That's what I thought.
Or no, because of the smoke in the air, everything is dim right now.
So would this work?
hmm
So when you say that and you just blink, Dro is 60 feet away from you. Which... Jesus.
Yeah, that's far.
It would be, like, down here.
I hate to admit it, but tactically it makes sense to send reconnaissance ahead. We don't know what we're walking into. As much as I hate to split the party, it just makes sense, especially if you can do that.
We won't be horribly split.
And he's going to teleport back.
If Yazdan takes Dro down and she stays, at the entrance of the tunnel. This is assuming we have no other fire creatures to fight around. And Duro shoots down the tunnel. You can do that. Are you limited on the amount of times you can do that?
Not times. The problem is if the creature gives off the light that it did, then I can't. So the moment that I am not in kind of motions, at least this much darkness, it doesn't work.
Which, if you're quite far down the tunnel, would be quite dangerous.
Yeah.
We could not get to you in time.
Perhaps don't go too far then.
But at least the reconnaissance ahead would be ideal, and in theory you would see the light from a great distance coming down a tunnel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we looked down before and it was pretty obvious. I mean, Nora, you looked down there, I think, most, and you said it was bright pretty much from the bottom. So I would imagine if it comes back through that tunnel, the light will start to creep up. The minute we see light, we shoot back up.
I mean, the tunnel itself wasn't particularly bright, but it was, when it got back up and walked away, it started illuminating again.
Maybe we don't. Maybe we go down a little ways. Listen. And do it slowly. We stay within the darkness.
That's what I'm thinking. We echelon our movements.
Out of game, Morgan. Magical darkness. Bright light like that can't go through it, can it?
Yeah, not unless it's just a normal type of light. No, I can't.
Dro's gonna lock eyes with Seamus. You don't like light. We've got ways to counter it. But if we go down with the darkness?
I'm always down with the darkness.
That won't impede me, but can you see through it, Dro?
I can.
And Leo, Nora, Yasin?
No, he
Not
does
this
this to me
time.
all the time. He pops me in darkness without telling me, and I've just gotten used to it.
I can't see through magical darkness. I can see through normal night.
I can see through it as well. So at least we'd have 3 people capable of seeing through.
The only...
Do we need this magical darkness?
I mean, if we go down with the magical darkness, it prevents the light that the creature gives off. Therefore, my ability still works. And if you're at least 60 feet up, I can here, there, grab you, we take off.
That's assuming I react in time to grab you as well, but yes.
And he's gonna look at you. I trust you.
I won't drop you.
So your plan is if you see the monster to jump 60 feet up and be caught in the air?
I would be more of her just hanging on the wall. Wouldn't expect her to do it in the middle of the container or the crater. Again,
no,
I don't.
Look at that pupper. Sorry.
Oh, that's so
That's like-
sweet! Oh my
Please go
god!
outside, Mom.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, this.
I say we go there and check it out. If it's overrun with monsters and all the strategizing is for naught.
This is true.
Also, I'll hold that thought. I mean, that's fair. I mean, if we get there and there's creatures there, that kind of throws a wrench in the plan.
Yes.
We're trying to turn back the tide while they still can. And the only way we'll know that is to take it inch by inch at this point, it seems. So I say we get going.
And we could talk all day. It won't get us anywhere, really. Unless we go to action.
So I guess we start heading back.
So, and Margot's gonna look around. Leo, would I be able to link with you mentally?
Now she has permission.
Kind of thinks
Yeah.
for a minute on it and like, yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Alright. And then he's gonna hear in his head, you can talk back to me for an hour.
Oh, I definitely can talk back.
This isn't a mind meld kind of thing again, right? You don't like see into his mind. There's not like really husky Minotaur women busting out of their tops or anything right now.
It's not
I'm
a
missing a reference.
volcanic
No.
cavern.
Oh, Leo's into big beastie women.
Oh, okay.
Why is Dro? Why are you following me right now?
I just moved it on and paying attention.
We're all following, right?
You know, with Leo, you miss the shots you don't take, and you know he.
Ooh, is
You
it?
shot.
Wow, it is thundering outside. Dang.
While we're walking, Dro is just looking around constantly, keeping an eye out.
I think while we're walking, Yaslin is actually going to try to do a inner world vibe check on her control right now.
Also, side note, right, Con, a little bit before we go. Are we planning on going stealthy or no?
Stealthy.
I will go stealthy with you guys.
Stealthy. Yeah, I think she chose Leo because I feel like Nora would probably be mean mugging her right now.
Oh,
And
That's the vibe I get.
I would agree with that. Nora definitely probably is side eyeing you for the next probably until somebody newer comes along and you're like the low man on the totem pole.
yeah, took it from Yaslin and Dro, so.
yeah, I mean, it's either you get one voice in your head or is in your head as well.
I rolled like shit on stealth.
I don't
Okay,
know
yeah,
if I
everybody
want to
give me a stealth check, and you guys are all. So you guys are leaving this space, going to the pagoda.
Oh my god, natural 20. Shit. Yeah.
How far? Go ahead.
Margot wants to look for any other potential entrances to this tunnel or this, like, a small offshoot temple that looks a little suspicious, out of place. It might be like an underground entrance.
There's nothing between you and the pagoda, other than like some forest that is not on fire. Are you looking to divert and go into a completely new territory?
No.
Okay.
She's just looking around as they go. Pass without a trace, my man. That's
Okay.
good, 'cause
How far of a walk was this, anyways?
Yeah.
It's about a 15-minute walk or so. Like, if you guys are going stealthy, it's fine. What? How long is past without a trace?
Oh, I don't know if my retcon. That's
An
expensive
hour.
to use. Yeah, no, I can't afford the key points on that. If it's only a 15-minute walk.
it's fine.
I think Yaslin will just be doing some, spiritual check-ins.
Okay, so we're doing a lot of things here.
Yeah.
So, first of all, is everybody moving stealthily?
She will be as stealthy as she can. While she's not-
Everybody give me stealth checks if you haven't already done so.
You're not rolling at
That's
disadvantage,
from-
are you?
It's
Yes.
for Nora. This is for Leo.
Oh my god.
Because it's going to decide if I use guidance on me or you.
She already rolled an 18.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, you need.
Thank God I used the guidance on myself.
Let me see. Do we have everybody there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So, is this pass without a trace or no?
No.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So anything else you guys are doing, or anything else you guys do before you leave this space behind? Just kind of running through my checklist.
I think before we go, any leaves or anything that's on that grave that weren't caught by Margot's, I don't remember what spell you used, to clean it. He'd walk over, wipe them off, and just bow in front of it and catch back up, showing respect to this individual.
Margot would touch her tattoo and bow to the grave, and then just say a quick prayer in Corey, thanking him for his thanking that individual for his support.
Roll a religion check, Margot.
Elf.
Okay. There is a slight something as you kind of focus your energies and lean into it. Something slightly unfinished. Yaslin.
Yes.
My favorite words to say to a barbarian. Give me a charisma saving throw.
Yeah.
Go get a drink.
Make it a stiff one. Should be a double.
That's pretty good.
That's really good.
She's treading on the cautious side of doing everything to deal with her situation.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
You check back in. And things are feeling controlled at the moment, but there is a tension, like a string that may snap. But you get the sense that it's a little bit more like a large cat, stalking its prey.
Mm-hmm.
There's something agitated about the red, but it's like a challenge sort of vibe.
Oh. Does it feel like it's a challenge to me?
With a 16? Not really.
Oh, gosh. Alright. Well, she'll be keeping an eye on this situation.
Okay.
She looks a little stressed.
Hey, and Yaslin, I think I just came up with a new mini game for you. Just between you and I.
I love it. Oh my gosh. I need to find my dog real quick because it's storming outside and he gets scared.
You said that
Aw.
the stone or the sword, was it a sword in the stone, or is it a stone carved in the shape of a sword?
So, if you imagine that kind of long rectangular stone,
Mm-hmm.
just flat, it's not carved into it. It's more like the sword shape is carved above it.
Mm-hmm. But it's stone, not metal.
Yeah. So it looks like a perfectly
carved replica was like placed on top.
With that being said, too, Morgan, that would have been Dro would have wrote that down himself.
You would have what?
He would have wrote that down, took note of that, the grave, the name, the poem, all of that.
Okay, sounds good. All right, and Lily, you've got a question going on.
Alright, sorry, I'm back. All good. My doggy's in his safety corner.
Good.
His
So
safety corner.
Lily, check your Discord. Okay, so we'll come back to that. Seamus, any other like preparations as you are heading back, or any other thoughts or actions or anything?
No. Yeah, I think we're good. You know, Seamus is just like ready to get going, and like quickly kind of disappears out of sight, even though he's still like around everybody here. Just because my stealth roll was probably my best roll of the night, I'm gonna guess, and so I may as well just make use of it.
Okay, cool.
Oh, I love this new minigame. Oh,
Dro's also going to drop back behind Yaslin when they're walking.
yeah, this sounds about right.
Yeah. So, Yaslin, I'll have you keep track of those.
Awesome.
Cool.
Cool. I love it.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be interesting as we go along.
It's gonna be rough.
Uh-huh. And each one does different stuff.
Nice.
And needs different stuff.
Ooh, it's a juggling game. Don't we love those?
Yep. Okay, cool. Lucy, Nora and Seamus, or Nora and Leo, they're kind of just doing their own things, kind of shuffling behind. We'll see what they want to do, if they, later, if they want to retcon anything that they've prepared or whatnot. I think Leo's gonna pop Kenji out for sure, though.
I would just emphasize maybe when I said earlier I could take 6 people, that it's 6. Before he pops out someone.
Okay, he can. It's like, oh, that's not a problem. I can just put him back. We can drop and I can bring him back out. But if we run into anything on the way there, I want to have them available. Kenji looks up at you and like got pride. It's like,
Yeah, whatever that one said.
All right. So Yaslin, you kind of finished your check-in. Dro, you did your stuff. Margot,
before we left, yeah.
Okay, yeah, and you kind of do your bow. Seamus, you're good. Leo and Nora, is everybody ready to go to the pagoda? And your stealth checks overall are pretty good. No, you're not ready?
Oh yeah, she's ready, but like internally, oh.
Lily's
You're ready to go to the gates of hell.
She's like, oh no. We're on a thin leash.
Okay. Alrighty then. In that case, we'll take our break there. And
Awesome.
we'll come back in about 20. And okay, see you guys soon for whatever devious, diabolical things I've provided for you. So each one of you gets to roll a percentile dice every time you come onto the map.
Oh,
Just
that sounds
to
cool.
see what is there or not there. Who wants to go first?
Did it first last time on watch, so
Yeah, you did do it on watch. Well, tonight can only get more cursed, so I guess I'll do it.
Alright, let me get a percentile die from you.
So I roll 2d 100s?
Mm-hmm.
Or just 1d 100?
Roll a combined D100. So like a tens place and a ones place.
Why did I roll 2?
If you right click, so you probably have like an orange pip on your D10. Go ahead and right click that, and it'll decrease that.
It said only 1.
It's adding a D100 plus a D10.
Mm-hmm.
Then you just have to roll a D100.
Or am I just rolling a D100? The D100 would give you the tens place, and the D10 gives you the ones place, right?
No, the D100 will give you both the tens and the ones.
Oh,
place.
okay. I was rolling it like you do physical dice. Sorry, I was rolling them both.
Nope. No worries, you're good.
That makes
Okay.
sense.
Okay. After stealthing through the forest, you had a natural 20 in your group and not terrible rolls. Nothing to you on the way back to the pagoda. You do re-enter the space. It is not quite as hot as it once was, but it is still ashy, smoggy, difficult to see. It stings your eyes. You get up to the pagoda, and here we go. I don't get to use my d12s very often, so I'm going to roll a d12.
A 12.
Okay. You do see a series of creatures wandering about. Some of them marching away. Some of them patrolling. Let's see here. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so you do have an enemy presence at the pagoda. What is your approach to the situation? And don't take their literal positions at the moment. They're kind of like meandering around. Like as you
I
guys
still see the
are,
graveyard.
if you guys, well, that probably doesn't help that I didn't activate it.
Oh, damn. That's...
I rolled well on my d12. You guys got 11 monsters.
Why does one of them look like a Sith Lord, Morgan?
What? Which one? Oh, that one? It's fine, don't worry about it. Sure, it's not going to mutilate you horribly.
Oh, God.
Oh,
We really don't want to fight these.
Feeling easy.
I don't want to fight these either.
So, these things are moving around. This is not like as literally static as they are on the map. just imagine like, if another scene where if you were like walking around and like seeing like guards on patrol at a compound or something. Like these guys were kind of essentially doing the same thing, and you sometimes notice new ones. So these are the ones that are kind of staying put, but new ones do occasionally spawn, and like from different locations. Some crawling up out of the hole. Some of them apparently showing up from other locations. These are the ones that are generally sticking around over here.
We could try to stealth into the hole, or we could try and patrol around and see if there is another entrance, but either way we risk getting caught.
I should let you all know now, probably, that if we encounter that large fiery lizard, I am probably on a time limit.
Perhaps we should head towards the water first. I don't know how many creatures are that way. Maybe try to flank around. I'm not sure. Did anybody see anything? South on this map is west. Okay.
Essentially, yes.
Okay. When we fought before, did anybody see anything to the west or the north?
I don't think anybody looked.
It was not here for children have to fight.
I think the only actual people that were down here was Seamus at one point, and then over here was Dark Draw at one point.
Mm-hmm. They're crawling out of the hole. It's...
Can we see into that temple from here?
Now you can see the burning back of it. Several of the locations have collapsed. Give me a perception check, though, to see if you can, like, kind of maybe be able to spot something through the flames as it, like, ebbs and flows.
Nope. Well, yeah, it's decently high.
You see some of these creatures, like, wandering about and kind of, like, keeping an eye out.
Are there any of them that's said they're wandering, but is there a point or a spot that we can see where there's always somebody there? Like a little more patrolled than other places?
That'd be like an investigation check to like track their movements and kind of reverse engineer where they're going. So go ahead and roll me that.
No.
Flame, smoke, debris, ember, ash.
It's hot.
Basically everything is going around.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't know.
I can do something, but it will only last for an hour.
What is that something before you do it?
It lets me see further.
Like, how much further?
Further in the sense of beyond what the physical eye can see, not distance.
He's gonna kind of shake his head, recalling the conversation that we had the night before about that. Okay.
He's gonna activate her dream sight. and you see her eyes glow that faint lavender. I'm guessing she still sees basically what she saw from everyone before.
Yep. So things are a little different overall. From the ones that you caught something strange on last time, each one of them seems to be a little bit more stable, just by a smidge.
She's gonna look Joe in the eyes, and then, like, very clearly look over his shoulder, and then look around.
Okay.
And try and see if she can't see anything like a large source of energy or a central location for this, a source of some kind of magic.
Let's go ahead and give you the advanced eyes. Okay, enhanced visuals.
Also, Morgan, when she looks over Joe's shoulder, does she see what I think it is?
Mm-hmm. Little.
You would just see him, that person wave at you. That's it.
So, would I roll investigation, I guess? To try and find a source or a central focal point of this?
No, this is an Arcana check. This is trying to make sense of the energies that are at play.
Oh,
13. Not so much. I mean, things are a little bit different. Things are a little bit more timid directly with the pagoda. The energies that you kind of sense beyond the pagoda are more enhanced. You see beyond the pagoda, like stretching towards the library, like, and you see more monsters than you did last time. So you guys won the battle with the large salamander, but it doesn't seem like it, ended the war. It's like that guy retreated, but there's still more going on.
We have some options here. We can try and scout ahead, but we may end up in a battle. Or we can return safely and try and find support. But the longer we delay, the greater this fire wages. And I can only see this for an hour.
I don't think getting in a fight's a good idea. Not with this many.
Do you know of somewhere we can gain more allies?
It's ways away. It's at library, but that's hours away.
And through the flames, which are raging towards the library. We could go. Wait, I'll just have to go down that hole. We could go to the library and try and get supplies healing potions, allies, but we would likely end up delaying for another day.
We're also banking on them actually having potions at a library.
With this fire going on as well, if they had any, they likely used it.
And as you guys are looking around, this space around you looks worse for wear. This waterfall that is on the map is now completely dried up. The trees are... Many of them are still on fire, but they just look like blackened fissures pointing up into the sky. There's no greenery left, and there shouldn't be, and in a lot of cases there shouldn't even be anything left to burn. It should, like some things, especially some of the trees, just look like straight carbon now, but they're still burning.
We can just try to time it and move in the dark. It's already smoky here. Maybe they won't notice another patch of black moving through it.
And I need everybody to give me new stealth checks.
Say this might be a good case for pass without a trace.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurts.
Oh, I should have been rolling with advantage. Oh, they're both 18s, doesn't matter.
Oh, that's so dumb.
I've been forgetting that this whole time.
Hey.
And you passed without a trace up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
34.
plus 10.
Okay.
22.
So you did decide to do it. Okay, so I've got a 34, 34,
Mine,
22,
mine's
23, 26, and 23. Okay. At the moment, nothing is directing its attention towards you. You don't have any reaction from anything.
Let's make a break for it.
Where are we heading?
Into the hole.
If we go into the hole, we will be stuck.
The building's burning too. Fuck.
We could
fight
We
them.
could regroup. There are so many. We could seek allies.
Do we have time to regroup? For the fire was already near the library when we ran from it. It was practically on it.
I don't know if we have time. But I do know if we go in now, that is a huge risk for us all. If you are willing to take that risk, we have ample opportunity now. But I want you to be aware of the dangers. We may be stuck down there with an unknown number of enemies, with no healing potions and no way out.
Joe's just shaking his head no this whole time. There were a few of them. I'd be more comfortable with it. They're like double our size.
Yeah, and if there's enemies up here, then there's probably enemies down there.
Start a battle, we draw attention, brings more.
Can these do these? Can we see these creatures?
You can't see all of them from your vantage point, but you see them kind of wandering around. Mostly you see the ones like down here as they roam around there, and like a few of them as they like are on top the the bridge. Basically just the ones that are closest to you.
Any of them seem adept at climbing?
roll a nature check.
From climber to climber. Can you climb?
You're not terribly familiar with these guys,
Yeah.
but I mean, if they were motivated enough and they had enough time, they probably could manage it.
But I don't see like appendages that distinctly have like claws in them.
There's claws, but they don't.
Oh, yeah.
They don't scream
Climber claws.
climber to you.
Okay.
We could also take this opportunity with my vision to descend the mountain to the east to see if I can't detect perhaps another entrance guarded by spiritual magic. But if I lose it, I won't be able to see through the darkness at all.
That we'll have to toss our darkness spine out of the window.
Wait, back up. Throws out the ability for you to see in the dark. Is that what it is?
Yes, if we descend the mountain for the next hour and I try to see if I can't find another way in protected by some spiritual magics or something along those lines, once that hour's up, my ability to see in any form of darkness is gone.
That's not a problem. I can take care of that at least for an hour.
It may reveal a back door. At least a recon. An hour to spare.
It's bright and early, right, Morgan?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay, so we've got like quite a few hours before nightfall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, if we make use of your hour of your sight, see if there's somewhere else to go, somewhere it's not as crowded here.
Perhaps Yasmin can fly me up and down the mountainside and maybe help me to find a place.
Would do that.
And if not, this is always an option. But I would like to expend all our choices first.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, so we're going to
Back to
head
the cemetery.
Alright.
Yes.
Slowly disengaging.
Yep. We're gonna go back to
Back
the cemetery.
Nobody is tracking you because you guys rolled awesome and you have passive a trace on, which lasts for how long?
An hour, actually, yeah.
Okay.
Now here,
So you're
vision.
down to about come on, Braden.
You said it was a 15-minute walk, right?
Yeah, it's about a 15-minute walk, so you're down to 45.
Do I see anything special in this area with my special sight? Anything more?
Give me an perception check, because last time you came in here, you had it on, but you were also beat to shit. So could be different.
Toasty. I'm still a little toasty.
I Dro know you're gonna do it.
I don't think a D4 would have helped that.
Ever.
I know, but still. Well, no, not a 9.
Oh, wait. Do I want to do this, though?
What are you doing?
Do you want to?
I'm gonna do this. Expend a sorcery point to re-roll a D20.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Magical goodness! So good!
I still can't ask Joe for help on this, right? Because I'm re-rolling.
I can't give you guidance
You're
unless I know.
re-rolling
Yeah.
on something that he already did not give you.
Yeah.
Jaslyn, I'm trying to give you a status. Stop it.
Sorry.
Morgan, that's how that works, right? Like, they would have to communicate to Joe, hey, I'm going to do this, and then he can give him guidance.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I mean, if like somebody does a backflip without you having your hand on their shoulder,
Oh my gosh! No! That's so good. That's so good.
Like Dinosaurus at any point, but it was
I
fucking
see
worth it.
everything.
okay. You see lots of spirits. You see, mostly they are not like fully humanoid. They're not like fully shaped. They're kind of a bit more amorphous. Think a little bit closer to like Soul from the Pixar movie, where they don't have a lot of like fleshy bits to them. They're far more just a little bit blobby or spindly or wispy. And most of them are just kind of chilling, doing their thing, happy being by their grave. Now that you've met him, you can feel the kind of that widespread lake feel energy of Zatlakir. It kind of radiates like frosted fur from the grave. And you get a big hit of that coming from the stone with the sword on it. And this time, it's a natural 20, and you're using True Sight. So yeah, why not? Yeah, you get the sense that it is. You can see the schools of magic that they belong to. You can see the transmutation. You can see the evocation coming from the stone, kind of mixing together. And you see the patterns of energy. The description that Seamus had for like the repelling force, like pushing against the fire, you can see it. It's coming from kind of this whole space. And it feels like it's like every one of the stones in the graveyard like has this magic energy infused into it that is repelling flames. But the source of it is whatever is between these dog statues. And it's like they've been around it for so long that they've soaked it and they are lesser points of radiation itself. And it all feels like that frosted fur from Zatlakir.
Bro, I think we can. There's a great power to this stone. I don't know if it's from the sword, but we got stone shaped for a reason.
Does anyone touch this sword just out of game?
Yeah, Margot touched it.
Yeah, Margot touched it and
Like the
cast
actual
Booming Blade
sword?
into it.
Okay.
Well, she put her hand on the hilt and cast Booming Blade through it, and it didn't do anything.
Hesitant to answer, not confident. So you think the scroll that he gave you is for, and he looks at the sword, this.
I am about 75% confident. The part of me that worries is I feel this energy may be what's protecting this space. And if we do manage to take that sword out, the space may become unsafe. Perhaps Yaslin and I should do our recon first.
What?
Give you time to think of that.
Okay. She's been pacing this entire time like a caged lion.
That. I'm looking down his pouch or his bag where he put the scroll. Okay. One condition.
Yes.
You swap your mind link over to me so I have communication with both of you. If we're gonna split the group.
I will try. But know that there is a risk I may not link with you.
Insight check.
Sure. I'm being dead serious.
Oh shit.
Who is Nora actually standing next to us?
She's probably standing close to Seamus.
He's gonna look at you. What's the risk?
That would be something you have to tell me. I haven't been acquainted yet to know the risk.
You still have your side up so you can see it, right?
Yes.
I'll look over the individual. There's no risk, right? And then the individual, he just silently shaking his head. Just puts his hands out like, be my guest.
She's gonna switch her link from Leo to Dro.
Do we know when you do that? Out of curiosity? Like we know that we like are linked with you? If you weren't to tell us?
I don't think it says specifically in there, but I'm looking at the feature real quick. There's no like specific indication in the spell, but I feel like she would definitely, you'd see her eyes flare and you would feel a sense, I don't know, the DM can correct me if I'm wrong, of like something
Yeah, it's like
foreign.
it's like you can feel like a new communication option show up.
Okay.
Dro, roll a wisdom saving throw. Margot, give me a wisdom check.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Oh, Dro. How's it feel?
Okay. Dro, you feel the connection.
You will be able to speak with me and I with you.
At any distance?
Says I had to be within 70 feet to link.
And then if it doesn't specify, then
Says for the next hour or until I dismiss or choose another link.
okay,
Or
then
until
yeah,
the-
you've got it regardless of range.
Can I also, Morgan, roll an insight to see if she actually linked to me or the other one?
Go ahead and roll self-insight, sure.
Nothing like 5 checking yourself.
Oh no!
Nice.
Just curious.
Fully confident that she is connected with only you.
This can go so many ways.
Only go poorly.
This can only go south.
Alright, Yaslin, we have limited time. Let's do 14 minutes to ensure we have some time on the back end at least.
Okay.
Can you fly for that long?
Yeah.
Before you
Can
go,
I fly
And
for that long?
before you go,
Mhm.
Dro's gonna grab Yaslin by the arm, whisper so Margot can't hear. Trust her.
Yaslin.
Yes. Please don't make me roll a charisma saving throw.
Nah, never mind.
That makes me feel
Yaslin
worse,
goes-
though.
Ape shit while I'm on her back in the air. This is not gonna
I mean, look, like it was only.
We lost you.
her.
My headset just crashed on me.
You're back.
I think like 4.5 hours would be what I have left. Probably.
Okay.
About.
So we must fly within 60 feet of the ground, and we can just do a quadrant passes up and down the mountain to see if I can detect anything.
This will be lovely. Sure. All right. You want to hop on my back, or you want me to carry you in the front?
Whatever makes you most comfortable. She is tiny, by the way. Remember that. She's like 5. What is
Oh
it?
yeah, she's so
She's
small.
very
I
short.
will just,
Compared to everyone else
know-
here, she's so short.
you know, to guarantee that like if you let go, I still have a hold of you, and if I let go, you still have a hold. It's gonna be front carry. This seems the most secure.
Don't forget that she's like a foot shorter than the shortest person in this group, I think. Not that much shorter. Seamus is like, what, 5?
It's like 5'10", 5'11".
Same
Okay.
height as
Yeah.
Dro.
Yaslin is like,
Yaslin's the shortest before you.
yeah.
How tall's
she's-
Yaslin?
I'm gonna look at my sheet again. It's not opening up on.
I want to say like
I feel like
5'7".
we said when we were
She's-
introducing characters, you're all tall.
We are all around the same height. I am just like 2 inches shorter than Dro, I believe. She's 5'8".
Yeah. So she's only 4 inches shorter than you, but she's also
But she
pretty
looks-
petite
she's,
sorceress.
Yaslin
Yeah.
looks jacked.
Yeah, she looks tiny next to
Olympic
Yaslin.
swimmer.
Alright, Yaslin scoops
Olympic
her up like a
athlete.
princess, I guess.
Well, here we go. Don't let go.
Recon only. Looking at Yaslin.
What?
Recon only.
Oh yeah. What do you think I'm going to do? Fly away?
No, but you're probably gonna find something to punch.
Listen. I will not punch anything. Unless it punches me first. And then she can pick something.
Look at Margot. Don't let her punch anything.
Oh no, Margot left. Margot's not there.
Margot's
She's
in my
arms.
She flew away with Margot in her arms.
I won't
Joe's
punch
just shaking his
anything unless
head.
it punches me first. It's valid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, we are
Self-defense
flying
at that point.
Hey,
up and down this mountain.
Team Yaslin.
Mm-hmm.
Roll me a percentile dice. Being Yaslin's turn.
Oh
Yes.
Team, we stayed in the...
no! 84.
Team, we stayed in the cemetery. Roll me a percentile dice. That's between Quentin or Troy.
I feel really good about that 84, honestly.
I just rolled 2 bad rolls.
Better than I did before.
And Troy,
Maybe,
please.
maybe I will.
Like a nat 1, a 7.
71.
71, okay.
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 Good to know.
Sad kicked puppy noise. Okay.
All right. So Yaslin and Margot fly off into the distance and begin to scan around while the rest of you stay at the cemetery.
Do you want to try to get the sword out?
Let me look at this scroll again. And then we'll talk about it. He's gonna walk over behind the grave. And do what he normally doesn't do and pull the scroll out. Actually similar to what he did in the water graveyard. Actually be a cleric. And ask for guidance.
The cleric.
More just clarity on understanding how to do this. This is a domain that he's not familiar with. He has no idea who he's asking. Insurance that maybe is this what we need to use this scroll for?
Okay, roll me a religion check.
He's also going to put the quarterstaff in front of him and focus on the liquid-looking stuff inside of it while he does that. You said religion?
Mm-hmm.
Man, you've been rolling
Hey,
rough.
Mm-hmm. D4 saving my ass.
what do you... What's the verbiage that you're using here?
So he'll have the quarterstaff in front of him, scroll out in front of him, and he just kind of closes his eyes, looks up. This is not something common that I do. I know there's someone watching over me. He's glancing at this staff. And old me would not have believed until proof was shown, and kind of looking down at the swirls and the staff. And this scroll, I somehow understand it when the ones that are more talented in magic than myself could not. So there's more proof. I really should have listened when they taught me how to do this, but if you're listening, I could use some guidance. Who are you? And the group thinks this scroll will help us with that grave. Should I attempt to remove that sword? And if so, does harm come? And he'll glance back at the grave, the particular one. Does harm come to his resting place?
Seamus would hold up his hand to his ear and point over towards where Dro is at and say, "What are you doing back there? Are you using the jocks?"
He probably would have jumped. Meditating, Seamus.
Oh, sorry about that. Oh, yeah, I got you, mate.
He's gonna look over his shoulder at Seamus. Oh, no, because it's only one way. And just kind of laugh and then look back.
You're pretty unfamiliar with this process.
Mhm.
Actually, in fact, this is like near the first time you've ever prayed. It's like the second or third. Go ahead and give this to me. Give me another roll for disadvantage. So you're a barbarian that needs saving throws and a cleric that doesn't know how to pray.
And the one time that the sorceress who could
6.
counteract disadvantage is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Be a 6 with that guidance.
It would be a 7.
I can't math, yes.
Oh my gosh.
For some reason, I thought it was a 2.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I forgot the +1.
Chat.
Yeah, you know nothing of what you're doing. You feel kind of you feel like a complex wave of emotions, or of like emotions of being. You are like mentally and spiritually like overloaded on stimuli. And the only thing that you can make out is patience. The rest is just garbled noise. You don't even know which direction it points. But there is a general consensus of permission. Just patience and permission. That's all you make out of it. It's like getting smashed drunk, spinning around 15 times, standing on your head, and then trying to watch a Cirque du Soleil show. And you only catch like a couple of things.
Just kind of sits there and stares at the staff. Patience isn't my strong suit, but I'll pick up the staff, the scroll, walk over to the sword, just kind of inspect it, put his hand on it. Seamus, you want to come over here? You're more familiar with this magic stuff.
I was kind of thinking of keeping my distance, but
Yeah, it's the same.
what do you
Like way distant.
what do you need? What do you need over there?
Have you used one of these before?
A spell scroll?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe once or twice.
Any tips?
Don't go arseways with it.
Any helpful tips?
What did I just say? I mean, can you read the language?
Yeah.
And just be clear and concise. Don't mince it. Here's where it might matter.
He's gonna grab the sword and kind of run his hand up it. Under his breath.
Oh.
He's just gonna say thank you. He's gonna try the spell scroll.
Okay. Give me a roll with your spell casting modifier.
Okay.
You
So yeah, this is a spell attack modifier.
So D20 plus. Where is D20?
Can I? Wasn't that a rousing, helpful speech? Probably.
Silvery
Okay.
Bobs.
Do you want to? Are you casting motivational speech?
No, I'm just wondering if I'm helpful, if I'm helping
Advantage.
by telling him to not mess it up.
Not especially. This is a pure roll this time.
A skill check. Do you have the skills to pay the bill?
Let's see if something real quick.
And once again, Margot is absent.
I know, that's why she said wait.
She did say wait till you get back.
she?
That's the...
Yeah.
So they're gonna go do a recon,
Yeah.
and then we'll take care of it when you get back.
The longer
It's
Joe
okay.
thinks about it, the longer he's gonna be like, "No, I'm not gonna do it."
for it.
Question: is this technically considered like an attack roll?
No, it's more like a magic check.
I don't even want to look.
Why?
when I
What's
hit this.
the thought? What's the thought on?
It
the
wouldn't
attack roll?
work. It's the focused aim. I can spend key points to bump up the roll.
No, not like that. Because you're not trying to like penetrate armor class or anything.
Can you guide yourself?
You cast guidance.
Not on an attack roll.
I didn't think so.
If you did a bless, I don't think you have bless. Bless would work in this case.
Do I have bless? Is the real question. Probably not.
I see it in your spell slots or in your spells right now.
Oh my god, I have bless.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god. My mind right now is
That would have helped Yaslin a whole lot.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what this cleric shit is.
He just prays really hard to himself and blesses himself only.
You let me use it?
Yeah, you can use it.
It's a
You got
D4.
this.
Is that what it is?
It's a D4, yeah.
Meanwhile, we're over here doing like an up and down travel.
He can also just speak to Margot in his mind at any time, but he YOLO, I guess.
Oh, thank the for that. Thank goodness.
Hey. The difficulty level is 10 plus the spell level. Stone Shape is a 4th level spell.
Oh my gosh.
That if for a check like this, if it's a tie, the status quo does not change. Bless saved your ass.
Oh my
Shit.
So, Dro, what are you doing with Stone Shape? What is the thought process here? What are you trying to make happen?
Margot asked for the sword, right? It's gonna King Arthur it. Trying to pull the sword out.
Okay, what does that look like?
He's very much hesitant on it, as this is here for a reason, for a hero who got to be put to rest at peace. And as he's pulling it out, he says, "Thank you."
As you say thank you, you reach down, touch the hilt of the sword,
in the kind of reverse inlay of it, and your fingers pour through the stone like it's pudding. Cold to the touch, a little bit rough. And your hands continue down, 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 touching nothing but this kind of cold, gritty pudding feel. You get about 3/4 of the way up your forearm, starting to wonder if anything is going to happen at all. And you grip something as it pushes resistantly into your palm. You grab it, and there is a flash of cold that lances up your arm into your neck and hair and eyes, and your eyes shine white for a moment. And it's not necessarily painful, it's more shocking. You begin to pull slowly, slowly, and the hilt comes out of the stone.
Oh.
The blade following. And it's like, as you pull it up, hilt first, the reverse, kind of the extended pattern of it begins to disappear from the stone, and it is perfectly smooth.
Freaking cool.
Oh, I had this up earlier. Maybe I didn't have it
Margo
up
was
anymore.
right.
So cool. So happy it worked.
And the sword is in your hand.
Oh my gosh, that looks so fucking cool.
You have acquired, and you know what it is just by touching it instinctually, the space around you, the process you've gone through. This is a frost brand.
Shit.
The cold that rushed up his arms and across his face, is that still visible?
No, it fades. It's just like coming into it's like essentially the cold magical equivalent of licking a battery.
Ooh.
And this is a long sword.
What the fuck?
Just sent you the link. And as you pull it out, and I don't think Margot described who it was that she talked to.
I said his name, that was
Yeah,
it.
that was it.
Yeah. But kind of from the space around you, you hear a sound of pleasure. A deep purring?
Oh.
Just kind of look around a little confused.
And that is where we will end for tonight.